guys, Thogden here, and welcome back to Game Week 38 predictions, the final day. It all comes down to this: Arsenal or Man City. We had to get a guest on who's only the man himself, the positive Arsenal fan, the one who's going to believe on the big day. It's Babs. How are we doing?
Listen, man, I'm here, and you're right. I have to believe as an Arsenal fan, especially one that's believed so far to get to this stage. One game left, and maybe on Monday we're having a parade, and hopefully you're invited.
Yeah. How many likes do you believe we can hit on this video?
5,000 is all right, but let's go up to 7,000 likes.
Hello, this is Thogden in beautiful Montenegro. It is the last weekend of the Premier League, and this will be my last ever Premier League predictions video. It's been emotional, it's been fun, I've enjoyed every minute of it, but all good things come to an end.
We're going to kickstart with Brentford at home to Newcastle. They're all at 4 o'clock. They're all at the same time. Now, Brentford-Newcastle is 16th against 7th. Brentford are completely safe. They are 13 points above the relegation zone. Newcastle need Chelsea now to lose to get a European spot. They have truly bottled it. They've only got 2 wins from the last 5. Do you see them getting a win here?
I look at the form table, actually, and Brentford and Newcastle neck and neck. So Newcastle are 5th highest in the last 5 games. And Brentford is 6th. So it's going to be an even game, you know?
Yeah.
And I know that Newcastle themselves, I think they still have European football to play for. So, you know, the stakes are there.
The West Londoners at home can produce a result. Neil Maupay's been tweeting about getting into the French national team squad. Maybe he'll get a few goals to show Deschamps what he's all about, eh?
Going to Brentford as a ground, it's a very atmospheric ground. And I feel like if that ground gets going on the final day of the season, if there's good weather as well, I think there might be a home win, you know?
I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I feel like a final day match like this will be high scoring.
I think I'm going to go 2-1 Brentford. Close game. I think Isak will score for Newcastle, but I think Brentford will end over the line.
Brentford against Newcastle on the last day of the season is a game that promises goals. I'm going to go Brentford 2, Newcastle 2.
Brighton versus Manchester United. Never at the start of the season did I think I'd be saying it's 10th against 8th. Now, United are sat on the same points as Newcastle, 57, and they'll have to rely on a bunch of results to get Europe. It's basically out the picture now. They've got worse goal difference than Newcastle. They're 3 points away from Chelsea. And Brighton, I mean, it could be Roberto De Zerbi's final game, the way they're playing recently. What is actually going on there, Babs?
Yeah, De Zerbi's got a weird style of tactics where obviously for a big club it looks nice, but for Brighton fans that see it week in, week out, you know, it's a bit inconsistent. And for the way they play as well, and the players that get injured and their squad quality, it's very hard to get that style of play working with the caliber of players they have. So I respect it a lot, but I can see why it's inconsistent.
I know he's had some big offers. There's a lot of big club jobs available. No longer Barcelona because Xavi's kept it. Of course, he didn't get Liverpool because Slot's going there, but maybe it could be his final game. The Red Devils showed some real fight. You know, in their most recent game, to beat the Geordies 3-2 at home. And I think Ten Hag, it's a pivotal game for him to keep his job. And I can see the Reds cleaning up away with a 2-1 win.
I watched the game against Newcastle. You're right. They put some fight up, but Newcastle had enough chances to win that game. You know, and United can see chances. I would not be surprised if the final game of the season might be difficult for United and a team actually takes their chances against them. I'm going to go 3-2 Brighton.
Brighton will be hoping to remain in the top half of the table. They've got a good record against Man United, and they're going to win this one at home 2-1.
Burnley are going to the Championship. I once said it in a diss track. Watch out, Vizza. But you're at home to Nottingham Forest. A pointless game, because Forest have pretty much survived, all but done, because the point difference is massive on goal difference between Luton and Nottingham Forest. It's 3 points. I feel like Burnley players will be playing for other clubs, you know, for scouts, if they want somebody else. Vincent Kompany, do you think he's going to continue with them in the Championship?
I think you have to trust him. You know, when you look at Burnley's form the year before and how good they were in the Championship, I think the Premier League was a bit of a surprise, but we've seen teams go up and down all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And if they can invest the money again and not change their style of play and be consistent, you know, I've seen it in Arsenal, when you give a manager time to implement his style, with enough time, you know, that foundation becomes very strong. I'm going to go for a Forest win. I'm going to go 2-0.
I'm going for Nottingham Forest 1-0, and I can see a Chris Wood goal.
If he had scored against City, he would have been a cult hero. But with the pace that Forest have got on the counter-attack against Burnley in a style of play that obviously is very progressive, I can see them causing issues.
Yeah, Chris Wood will be checking his phone when he at full time, just to hope the 4p is confirmed.
Yeah, he's been paid. That's what I'm going to say.
He's a City fan. Like, I don't think it goes any further than that.
I reckon this has got draw written all over it. Burnley 1, Forest 1.
Stamford Bridge, Chelsea against Bournemouth. Now, I'm going to leave a link in the description to live football tickets if you want to go to this game. I've had a few people ask me. The flash score giveaway we did was actually for the Chelsea match. We've seen a lot of demand, and it's because they need to withstand 6th or even go for 5th. Okay, if Tottenham lose and Chelsea win, they get it because of goal difference. Babs, are Chelsea going on the European tour?
Look, I think it's happening, which is it's rather confusing, you know, and it depends obviously how United do in the FA Cup final. You know, if they were to win the FA Cup, you know, they'd get Europa League football. So it
Good point.
Chelsea into the Conference League.
But what's wrong with Conference League?
I think, you know, with the size of Chelsea as a club, I think it's perfect for them, to be honest. But look, in terms of 2024, their form has been pretty good. And you've got an informed player like Cole Palmer and even Jackson scoring a few goals. I think this game is in Chelsea's advantage for sure.
It's funny you mentioned European trophies. I mean, it's big talk coming from an Arsenal fan, of course. They've got the Europa League over you. They've got the Champions League. The Conference League would be the full trophy cabinet.
Yeah, look, I'm more than happy for them to complete the European feat in the Conference League. You can enjoy it all you want. You know, my team's going to have the anthem player next year, and it's not going to be a...
will they do it?
It'll be the Champions League anthem.
I'm going to go Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 1.
I'm going to go Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 1 as well.
I'm going to go here, Chelsea to win 2-1.
Crystal Palace against Aston Villa, down at Selhurst Park, south of the river. 12th in the league, but the form team right now, Oliver Glasner's boys, Eze, Elise, Mateta, cooking. And now they're at home to end the season to a Champions League qualified already Aston Villa on 68 points in 4th place. Can you see this being as an upset with a home win?
Villa's form at the end of the season's been a bit iffy. I know they've got Champions League football and it's worth celebrating for sure, but they've not been amazing. You know, and they've lost a few games.
But Babs, they've had to fly to Athens. They've had to go to all sorts to play Conference League matches. And they've got a thin squad, considering they've got so many fixtures. 2 legs into the semi-final. That's more than Arsenal. That's more than... Actually, I think they're the furthest standing English club. So they've had the most fixtures. You've got to feel for Unai Emery.
No, I feel for him, sure. But I've seen it as an Arsenal fan. Emery's teams towards the end of the seasons, they are a bit shaky at times. So I wasn't surprised by it, you know?
I can see Palace winning this. Eze has something to prove to big GS. I can see him being on the plane. But one more goal to finish that off in a big 2-1 home win. Selhurst Park rocking.
And I'm going to go for a high-scoring 2-2 draw.
I'm going with home advantage here. Once again, Crystal Palace 2, Aston Villa 1.
How would you summarise Liverpool's season?
I would say surprising, because I don't think anyone expected them to fight for a title. But ultimately, they fell short, you know, and I'm not surprised by that. I don't think their squad
You don't think they were ever going for the title? At one point, they were 60% likely to win.
Yeah, I think they were going for the title, but I'm not surprised they fell short. When you look at their squad compared to Arsenal's and City's, those two squads have a bit more quality and depth. And Liverpool are always going to be unlucky with injuries as well. You know, Klopp did amazing to even put them in the conversation.
Well, Gary O'Neill has managed Wolves to 4 defeats in the last 5 games. It's been a very poor end to the season. What was a great start. I mean, they were on the best form Wolves have had in absolutely ages, and it has fallen away. And I agree with you. I think Liverpool will steam to a 2-0 win. And I think the Egyptian will also be waving goodbye. I can see him going to Saudi Arabia. Hard to turn down big money. I think the reason they kicked off with Young Klopp a few weeks ago at West Ham away was because Jurgen said, look, stay. I'm going to stay as well. Turn down the money. Turn down Al Ittihad. And when that contract comes this summer and Jurgen leaves, I think Salah goes too. Fair play to the manager, a hero of Borussia Dortmund and now Liverpool, and one for football to remember. You agree, Babs?
Yeah, you know, 100%. He's been an icon in the Premier League for sure, and it's been a pleasure to compete with him, especially as an Arsenal fan as well. But I think this might even be an even higher score for Liverpool. I wouldn't be surprised if they put through like a 4-5.
I reckon Jurgen Klopp will want to go out on a high here. He's been a sensational manager over the years. This will be Liverpool 3, Wolves 1.
Luton against Fulham. It's a real sad story for the boys at Kenilworth Road. They fought as well as they could. Rob Edwards did everything. I mean, even some matches against Arsenal, I thought they really gave it 110% for the manager. The lowest budget in the league, the smallest attendance, the smallest money they get from the Prem, and they've ended pretty clear above Burnley and Sheffield United and just missed out on Nottingham Forest. What do you think? It's gutting for them, but do you think they're going to end with a bang? Can they beat Fulham at home?
I wouldn't be surprised. I think they deserve something. From a season they've put in, they surprised so many. They deserve, to go out on a good note. And Fulham themselves, they don't need to win the game. They're not fighting for anything. Just give Luton a victory, man. They're not going to be there next season.
I'm going to go 2-1 Fulham.
Nah, I'm going to go for a Luton victory. I think
Okay.
they deserve it. It's at home, Kenilworth Road. Why not? I'm going to give them a victory. I'm going to say Luton 3, Fulham 2.
Luton against Fulham theoretically matters if Luton go out and win 12-0, and if Forest lose, then Luton survive. But we all know that's not going to happen. I reckon there could be goals here. Last day of the season, 2-2.
And now I think it's important we talk about your rivals. You've had a very funny week supporting them, and now they've got Sheffield United away. They're already relegated to bottom of the table, easiest fixture in the calendar, but they've still got stuff to play for. European spots. I want to go to you, Babs. You're an Arsenal fan. When Heung-min Son was through on goal against Man City at 1-0 in the 88th minute or whatever it was, you wanted him to miss. He missed. Do you think he missed on purpose?
I did not want him to miss. I'll tell you that for a fact. And I expected him to.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But look, let me just remind you that this was a title on the line. A trophy that Spurs could have had a hand in. So they were always going to fall down. They were always going to fall short. These guys are allergic to having any impact on sort of trophies. So when Son saw that opportunity to actually win something for someone in life, he said, "No, I can't do it." So I'm not surprised.
Do you think he tried? Because people are saying that he did it on purpose. I think it's a complete
the smile
load of
after
crap.
the game with Pep. Yeah, I don't think it's on purpose, but look, he's a player that it's a shame because he's a very good finisher and he's a very good player. But
The way Ange bottled it in the press conference before and after the game, getting angry at his own club, getting angry at the press, getting angry at everything, to be honest. He probably didn't sleep at night. That's not how you want to go into a game where you need to pull off a result. I'm going to go with Sheffield United 0, Tottenham 3.
yeah, I think Spurs will win because they have to win. I think if you don't beat Sheffield United, then you don't deserve to be in the Europa League at least. Not even the top up at that point. So I'm going to go for a Spurs victory. I'm going to go 2-0.
I reckon this is going to be Sheffield United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2.
Emirates Stadium, will you be there?
I will be there. I will be there.
Okay,
I got a
good.
ticket.
Good man.
I got a ticket.
A very
Lucky
tough
enough.
game to get a ticket for. Would have been harder if Spurs got the job done. But the prices are going crazy online. I did a flash score giveaway. A lot of people commenting Arsenal. A lot of people want to be there. Just in case. Tell me, you're the Arsenal fan. We got you on. The stage is yours.
I saw in a stat that in terms of the final day of the season, the team that's second nearly never wins the title. But us as a club have a history of doing that. One of our famous nights was 1989, where at Anfield against Liverpool, top of the league, we scored the last minute goal to win the title and go from second to first and win it in the opposition ground. So we've got a heritage of winning it out of nowhere. And I feel like our first title in 20 years needs to have drama behind it. I don't want it to have it as a nice, clean sailing title victory. It'd be nice, of course, but how sweet would it feel if, somehow West Ham were to get a result and we win it last minute with, at a late Bukayo Saka goal and it goes like a down as at Aguero moment. It would require extreme circumstances, but it's possible. I'll give Everton respect. I think the way that Sean Dyche plays and manages, he's going to make it tactically hard. He won't make it easy by any means. But
you've got a good record at home to Everton, don't you?
Yeah, we do. And final day of the season at Arsenal, when the sun is shining and a title's going to be there as well, and there might be fireworks after. We're going to win this game. I'm guaranteed of that. I will say though, if City go down by a goal and it makes things nervy around our stadium, you could see a bit of a dramatic game. But I think we'll score an early goal, settle down, and going to score 2-3 more.
Arsenal 2, Everton 0. Job done.
Everton will be really difficult opponents for Arsenal on the last day of the season. It's always the case with a Sean Dyche side. But you know what? It's going to be job done for Arsenal. They're going to win this one narrowly, 2-1.
Let's go to Etihad for Manchester City against West Ham. It's current first, the league toppers, against 9th in the Premier League table. So tell me, have you always been blowing bubbles?
Listen, this weekend we are blowing bubbles. We're supporting the Hammers. And look, West Ham fans, I urge you, we've got your former captain. The guy that took you to a Conference League final, lifted a trophy, gave you an iconic moment. Surely, of all things, he deserves a draw. Just a draw, park the bus. West Ham fans don't know, they came to our stadium, the Emirates, they parked the bus and we couldn't score and they beat us, and that game could cost us a title. Do the same thing at the Etihad. Park that same bus, put all 11 players in your own box, play on the counter-attack, and they've got Kudus this time, they've got the likes of Bowen, they've even got Paquetá, who wasn't playing against Arsenal, he went off injured, I'm pretty sure. I just need a draw. That's all. I don't need you to go and win and to go and, cause a massive shock. Just give me a draw, a 0-0, a 1-1, boring as anything, and help us massively.
They've got an incredible record of beating West Ham at home. And I'm going to be boring and say the title winners is it's 2-1. 2-1. Again, Manchester City win the Premier League as I predicted to start the season.
I'm going to go for a draw as an Arsenal fan because I hope for it and I'm dreaming for it because it'd be amazing. I'm going to go for a 2-2.
It is the game we've all been waiting for. It's the match that decides the outcome of the Premier League season. And I reckon there might be a few twists and turns. There might be an early goal for West Ham. But overall, City are just too good late in the season. They're going to win this one comfortably. Overall, 3-1.
Subscribe to Thogden too. Subscribe to Bav's YouTube channel. First link in the description. And all the best. Let the best man win. Shall we say, Babs?
Come on, you Irons. Come on, you Irons.
Good man. See you guys in a bit. Bye-bye.